I've been reading this book by my mentor, Dr. Wale Akinyemi. And this book is called, this is new book, it's called Beyond Intelligence, The Simple Practice of Staying Relevant. And this book has really inspired me, or really made, provoked my mind to really think about intelligence, about the future, about innovation. Very, very interesting read. I recommend you get it and read, because it's really a book for now and the future. And as I read this book, I can't help but think about our industry and what we are training and the future, thinking about the future. It made me think about the story of Kodak. And Kodak was one of the biggest photography company. It was the biggest at some point. Actually, we used to call photography, or when you want to take what we call selfie moments today, we used to call them the Kodak moments. This generation may not understand that. We used to call them Kodak moments. What you call selfie today, actually even today, there are places you say Kodak moments. It was meant photography moment, the time to take pictures. Think about that. But today, we don't hear about Kodak a lot. You know, at some point they didn't transition. And this is what some of the things Dr. Wale is talking about in this book, Beyond Intelligence. That intelligence that is not relevant is actually may not really help. You could be intelligent, but is your intelligence relevant? And at some point he talks about people who have many ideas. They talk about ideas every time. I have this idea, I want to do this, but they don't do much. We don't see much innovation coming from them. So this is an amazing read. This is an amazing book, mind-provoking, and I recommend get this book as we read together, as we get challenged to think about the future, to think about the ideas we have, the future, and how your intelligence should actually be relevant. It's really interesting, because years back, we used to think intelligence is everything. When someone is bright, they can speak great things. We think, now those are the, just the intelligent people. Those are the people to be around. And but now intelligence is being, we have new intelligence. We have new way of describing intelligence. Before we started this live video, we were talking about how many years ago, when the people who used to play a lot used to get into so much trouble with parents, with teachers, and we could, there was this thing, you're just playing around, and you're not studying, you're not working hard, you're just playing around. But who would have thought playing around would actually become a career, a multi-billion industry? I read one of the part here of this book by Dr. Wale, and I read about this part about this guy who does gaming, okay? This guy makes a living out of playing games. And I wondered, who would have thought that gaming, it's on this sixth chapter, the art of benchmarking of imagination. And I read about this guy. He's called Ninja. And Ninja was born in 1991. You can imagine. And as at August 2019, he had 22 million subscribers on his YouTube channel. Each video has an average of 1.5 to 2 million views. Still, don't think he has a real job. If this young man had to fill a form and was asked what his profession is, he would write, he's a gamer. Okay? Once upon a time, one could frown or laugh at this, but not anymore. This is a career that has netted him close to $10 million in 2018. and helped the parent company, Epic Games, to make a profit of $3 billion. When I read something like that, at times I'll just sit and think, and at times I even take so long before I even move to the next, to the next paragraph or the next chapter, because that's mind-boggling. $10 million. How many companies have made a profit of $10 million or made a profit of $10 million in 2018? When you convert that to some currencies, when you convert that to the Kenyan currency, it actually makes you feel a bit crazy, because it's about a billion. That's about a billion Kenya shillings. And the company made, actually he made a billion if you convert to our currency, and the company made $3 billion in profit, not in revenue, in profit. This is out of gaming. This is out of what we would call in our language mchezo. And we really used to be punished. Most of us used to be punished. We had a discussion here, and I learned about some people who really got severe punishment out of gaming. At times you're sent and you'll go to a cyber cafe and you have a few minutes to do gaming, and you come back home late and you're really punished until some of this creativity was beaten out of us. Some of us really used to play football or do different things that some of those things didn't look like, we used to be told, ni mchezo tu. Ni mchezo tu, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Ni kucheza, and you're hit, you're really punished. And some of these things could be making us billions today or millions. Some of us, like Edwin, maybe we need to reevaluate and see how we can go back into that and see how we can we can make a business out of some of these innovations that are for future. So those are some of the things that are, I picked from this book that have really provoked me to really think about what is the future? What is the future of even what we are doing right now? What is the future of Talanta Institute and media training? We are really thinking about that. Today we'll actually be unboxing some of the new equipment we've gotten of late from our supplier, Universal Gift Center or Cameras Africa. These are some of the equipment, and it really made me think, because you look at the lighting today, it's LED technology, and what that means, this equipment consume less power, this lighting. Some few years back, just a few years back, when you thought about lighting a studio like this, the amount of heat that the lighting used to emit, this could not work as a studio. This, if you showed people this and told them this would be this is our studio, they would have laughed and said, no, a studio needs to have this kind of headroom because the distance between the lighting and the subject should be this. They would have, there was a scientific way of showing how this space cannot work as a studio. Actually, professionals, even today, they are still there. They can tell you, this one, you need to take the roof up. It can't work, the distance between the... But with the new technology, with this new lighting, a small space like this is actually a mega studio. So we think about the future. What is the future? What is the future of lighting? What is the future of camera? When I was being taught photography, actually I'll bring, one of these days I'll come with my, I'll look for a camera that looks like the one I was taught with. It's a film camera. We actually used to use the Kodak film. And the training then was totally different, because when we took pictures, you needed to wait until you go to the studio and the film is developed and you see what you took. That means you really needed to know what you're doing. Today, you take a picture. Most of the time, there's this thing, you take pictures, and actually, the models or the people you're taking pictures, even if it's in a wedding, they run towards you to see what you've taken. Let me see. And they can change the pose and change things, because when they see, they're like, let me change this. Those days, if you took a picture and people ran towards you, run away, you'll think something has happened. But today, it's a common thing. When you take a picture, people run towards you to just see what, you show them what you've taken. Can you imagine? This is in a few years. This is in a decade or so. It's not many years that things have changed so fast. And really change is happening so fast. And if we don't really think of the next big thing and what is happening next, what will be after these lights? Because personally, in my generation, I worked with the tungsten lights that used to consume so much power. That you hook them up in this building, actually at times it can, the power can go off. It can trip the whole supply system of power because they consume so much power. But right now we have such lights that you can plug into any socket and they work and they give you good lighting, actually better lighting, no heat. The bulb can stay, they say this bulb can stay for a lifetime until you need to buy the next lighting. But for those other lights we used to use, you needed to have some spare bulbs because the bulb can the bulb can expire anytime. The lifespan was really short. So what is the lifespan of our ideas? What is the shelf life? What is the shelf life for our ideas and what we are doing? We really have to think about that. What is the next big thing? That is, I'm referring a lot to what this book by my mentor, Dr. Wale, is talking about. What is the shelf life of our ideas? What is the next big thing? It's something we need to keep asking ourselves, even the ideas we are thinking about. And some of these ideas we thought cannot be turned into business actually may be the next big thing. So some of these ideas we have, they may look very small. Some of those, things like gaming right now is a big thing. But now we are thinking, what is the next big thing? What is the future of media? Today we have seen so much disruption happening with in the media because of the new way media is being done, the social media, the YouTube and all that. And now we have influencers, vloggers is a big name right now. So we have to always think, what is Netflix now is a multi-billion thing. A while back, it was just about CNN and the other cable TV and all that. But when you look at the shift that is happening, like today, I have stayed for so long without watching TV because everything I need is at the palm of is at my palm, the phone. You can, news, breaking news is happening on social media platforms and so many other things is at our hands. So I think it would be right if we say the future is in our hands, but again, it's really not the future. So, we had a moment of discussion today with one of our colleagues here. We call him Eddie Brainy because he's truly brainy. And he's telling me the future is actually not even in the palm of our hands. The future is out here. He's telling me of the contact lenses today that are being developed. Now, when you look at things, it can analyze and it can do your diagnosis for your car. And I was like, that's crazy. Now, there are specs. You wear the specs, and the specs can go scanning things as you walk. It can scan things and tell you what this is. This is this camera. This is the power of this camera. This is a megapixel. You look at a plant, it can tell you what the plant is, and it can even tell you the medicinal values. It can tell you even if you're at risk. I mean, that's actually not even the future, it's the current. Those glasses are there, they've been developed. But now they are taking it a notch higher and developing contact lenses. That as you walk around, even as you think about investigative journalism, it's not just wearing the camera, button cameras and all that. With just your specs or your contact lenses, you can record. You can actually record. So think about that. There are someone who will walk into this place, and as we watch movies, if you think about a movie, and as people used to go and spy, you used to be scanned. Are you wired? You're scanned. They undress you to check if you have a wire. They used to call it a wire because whether you're recording the conversation. So they scan you and undress you to check if you have a gadget to record. to record the conversations as you do, whether it's spies and all that. They are scanned whether they are wired. Is he wired? Check him if he's wired. But right now, you don't need to be wired. the whole the whole space is wired. You can have contact lenses that can transmit information just like that. So thinking about that and how we can align with the future, it's really mind-boggling. It's really intriguing to just think about that. It's even scary. We're discussing about this before and saying, as much as you have your mobile phone and you're just having a conversation, that conversation, other people can listen into that, can tap into your phone, not even really tap. Some of those apps you have in your phone and the permissions you've given in your phone can transmit that information. The other day we had a conversation and we were talking about a certain product. And from the time we talked about it, I started getting more adverts about that product. Because as you do that and you have your phone, that information you from your phone and your phone camera and your microphone, people can listen to your conversation from wherever you are. So when you think about that, that's currently what's happening. So think about the future. What is the future? How can we align ourselves with the future? And I know I've talked about so many things because it's really it's really mind-boggling and really intriguing to read about these ideas and the intelligence for the future, and just think about how we align with that, and how we align with the future intelligence. It's not just the IQ. It's no longer even just about the EQ. It's other intelligence. It's even aligning whatever intelligence and making it relevant for now. How relevant is our intelligence? So this book is one that provoked me to really talk about all these things. It's so much, but we really need to think about staying relevant, because some of the products we had a few years ago are no longer relevant. Today we are unboxing some new equipment here, but in 1 year there is new equipment. So it's really, it's really making us think, even, do we need to buy equipment every other year? What equipment do you need to buy? What will happen in a few years? Like in our studio here, some of it will be reporting out there is using mobile phones. Because right now we have so many, powerful mobile phones that reporters can go out there and they report, and we can get that live from our studio and broadcast that. So we are aligning ourselves and training our students on how to align with the future. Not to think that when I have a new camera, when I have a latest camera, now I'm in business. This is no longer about the latest gadgets. And yes, we keep upgrading our equipment, but also training that it's not just about having the latest equipment. The latest equipment, and we need to keep upgrading, is actually up here, and not just having the right information. Like there's a chapter Dr. Wala is talking about information, and it's not just about being loaded with information. It's being loaded with the right information, relevant information. At some point, one of the chapters he's talking about how comes the people who've done the greatest things are not the professors. How comes things like Facebook, we are live streaming right now, actually on Facebook, were not discovered by the professors of that institute. It was actually discovered by the students. Because it's not how much information you have, it's how do we use the information that we have? How do we apply? How do we use the information fast enough? So that's really mind-provoking for all of us, that the small information we have, how are we using that? How are we executing? We have a slogan we use here at Talanta, a famous quote we normally use. And we normally say that ideation without execution is hallucination. Because at times we do so many meetings, even in companies, we come up with so many ideas, But what is the speed of our execution? Because at times you can have ideas, and if you have them for too long, before you execute, they become already obsolete. They are already outdated. So we're in that space of business at the speed of thought, as Bill Gates said. Is business at the speed, is thinking very fast and executing fast. And even after executing, how you actually come up with new ideas that render your old ideas irrelevant. So there's so many things in this amazing book. I recommend you can get a copy. It's a book you can read even in a day. It's a very easy read, but with very amazing stuff to really provoke our thinking. It's really mind-provoking. For me, I can't read it fast because some of the things I read about, I think about them the whole day. You know, like I read about this young man, ninja, and I see what he's done. At times I read one chapter, and I just think about it the whole day. I just, keep thinking about it because it's really mind-provoking, thought-provoking. And so, yeah, we'll be, later we'll do another live video on our Talanta Institute Facebook page with my colleague Edwin. He's our manager and our principal, and he's one of the leaders here. He's one of the genius for the future, and I'm challenging him to make sure his ideas are relevant and his intelligence is relevant. So we'll be doing that live video. And we'll also be doing unboxing for the new equipment, just talking more about the new equipment. So later you can, in about 30 minutes, you can watch a live video on our Talanta Institute Facebook page as we continue with this conversation about beyond intelligence. The simple, most of the time I say the simple art of staying relevant, but it's actually the simple practice of staying relevant. So keep following us. We'll be unboxing. We'll be setting up the studio. Now we have most of the equipment. So we'll be setting up the studio in phases. We'll start with the green screen setup and show you what we'll be doing with that. Then show you different cameras we'll have, lighting we'll have. And let's just continue the conversation here. We'll also be bringing other people. And we're really hopeful, actually very soon we'll bring Dr. Wale himself on this platform to just discuss these things. He's mentored me for many years. Some years ago, I could not have imagined myself doing such a video or even speaking in forums. But through his mentorship, today I speak in different forums. I was very shy. I could not easily communicate. But through the mentorship and all that, I've been able to do to speak in different forums in Kenya and outside Kenya, to train our students here, to mentor so many other people that are actually now practicing what we have taught them. And a week ago, I went through his training that is called the Training of Trainers. And if you look at his page, the Dr. Wale resource page, you will see he has another training coming up. I can't remember the dates, but just go to Dr. Wale resource page and see the training that is coming up, the training for trainers, where he's training us how for public speaking, for not just for public speaking, but for training in corporates. And I've actually remembered we had some homework that I haven't done. So let's just go on the page. Let's join these trainings, because we need as many people coming together to provoke each other and to challenge each other to think for the future. He also has a club that is called Club Intelligentsia that meets every week. So you go to the resource page, you'll be able to see more information about Club Intelligentsia, about training of trainers that is happening at Weston Hotel. And get this book. You go to his page, you can order for this book, and it can actually be delivered to you. If you also order through our platform, we can make sure the book is actually delivered to you. So, yeah, let's go beyond intelligence and make sure our intelligence is relevant, is wired, is for the future. Thank you so much, and God bless you. See you later on Talanta Institute's page as we interact with one Edwin Courier and discuss more about the book, about what we are doing with the studios here. And yeah, join us and interact with us and send us all the comments and the things you would want us to discuss about. Thank you, and God bless you.